Hi, this is Mark Smith from Red Wave Investments. Today I want to spend a little time talking about a couple different accounts that people can use to save for their retirement. The Roth IRA and the Traditional IRA. Both accounts are great vehicles that individuals can use to save for their retirement, but there are some important distinctions between the two, and I want to walk through the specifics of each account and then tell you my thoughts on which one I recommend for people. So both accounts have annual contribution limits of $5,500. Now, if you're over 50 years old, you're eligible for a catch-up contribution, they call it, of an additional $1,000. So that would mean you could contribute $6,500 a year if you were over 50 years old into both of these accounts. I'm going to start with the Roth and kind of go through some of the specifics on the Roth and then talk about the traditional. So the Roth is a great account for people, but there are income limits. So if you are a single tax filer, the maximum you can make in income and contribute to a Roth is $133,000 per year. If you're a married filer, the maximum is $196,000 a year. But what's the benefit of contributing to a Roth is all that money grows tax-free over time. So you're not paying dividend taxes, you're not paying interest income taxes, there's no capital gains taxes on the account over time. And the big benefit of the Roth is that there's also no taxes when you withdraw funds at the end. That's a big distinction from the traditional IRA, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Another big benefit of the Roth is that you're allowed to withdraw your contributions at any time. Now, when you file your taxes every year, you have to keep track of how much you've contributed over time. But if there's ever a point where you have a financial emergency and you need to access money, you can do that from a Roth. You can always pull out your contributions without any penalty or any taxes owed on it. The one downside of a Roth is that the money that you put into a Roth is not tax deductible. So you have to use after-tax money to contribute to the Roth, which means there's no tax benefit to you in the current year to making a contribution to a Roth IRA. A traditional IRA is similar in the sense that you also have tax-free growth. So the same deal where you're not paying taxes on capital gains, dividends, and interest along the way. But the big difference is you do pay taxes when you withdraw money down the road. So when you get to be retirement age, which is over 59 and a half, if you make a withdrawal from your traditional IRA, that distribution is treated as ordinary income. So if you are in the 25% tax bracket and you withdraw, say, $10,000, you would receive $7,500 to you, and the government would get $2,500. Now, to balance that out, you do get a current year tax deduction. So if you contribute the full amount of money, the $5,500 a year, and you're in the 25% tax bracket, you get a tax deduction worth roughly $1,400. So there is that current year benefit. And that's kind of the trade-off between the Roth and the traditional. So you want the tax benefit today, or do you want the tax benefit long-term? In my mind, the tax benefit long-term is worth significantly more. One, because it's taxes in the future that you can save where rates will probably be higher. And two, all the earnings on the account over time will never be taxed. Whereas in a traditional IRA, you would have taxes on that. If you need to withdraw money from a traditional IRA, there is a penalty for that. So if you need to take a distribution before you turn 59 and a half for a financial emergency, you would have to pay the taxes due on that plus a 10% penalty on top of that. So if you were in the 25% tax bracket, you would pay 35% tax or tax plus penalty to take a distribution out. I recommend anybody that's able to contribute to a Roth instead of a traditional IRA. Both accounts are great ways to save for retirement. Both offer the benefits of tax-free growth. But the long-term benefits of not having to pay taxes on the distributions in retirement is a big advantage to the Roth. If you think about a Roth IRA that has, say, $200,000 in it, that means you really have $200,000 in an account that you can take the money out. If you have a traditional IRA with $200,000 in it, essentially you have $150,000 and the government has a claim on $50,000, assuming you're in the 25% tax bracket. So the Roth just gives you that benefit, and in my mind, it's worth giving up the current year tax benefit to get that. So tax day every year is the deadline for making a contribution for the prior year. So normally April 15th is the deadline to make a contribution for the last fiscal year, the last tax year. So if you have not done so already, today is a great day to either open an IRA or contribute to an IRA. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you liked it and you want to see more of this, you can follow me on Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel at Red Wave Investments. Thanks.